Okay, so we are doing the Scrump assembly. These, number one, aren't punched great, but also I don't really feel like the sizes are proportionate, and also I don't like the concept of just sticking stickers on there and they'll fall off. So probably what I'll do is put these on, but then probably take them off and just crochet little circles. So if you would also want to crochet circles, then I suppose let me know, because I don't know if I'll do it on here or not, or if I'll just do it later. So got the head, got the body. I need to stuff the pieces. I'm gonna do that probably now. Where's my other foot? There it is. And so I'm gonna stuff pieces. I'm going to weave in ends like these ends, and this one bow end probably, and then we'll get to pinning. Okay, so got foot stuffed. I wove in some of the ends. I'm gonna stuff the body and the other arm and the foot. Okay. Now this area will likely add more to the neck if we need to when sewing around and attaching the head. For now, that'll be good for now. And then the arm, use the other side of the hook. This is a smaller opening. So I kind of fold this over on itself. And then basically just with the hook, like fold and push until it's sort of firm enough to get pushed in rather than just go right through it. The hook through a fuzz, that is. That's probably a little too much. Like so. And then I kind of shape it up a little. And then the feet, just use my finger. And you can kind of do more or less stuffing depending on how you want it to look. If you want the feet to like provide, like the feet and arms to provide like balance for it sitting, then they'll probably need to be a little firmer. Kind of a little bit depends on if you want it to sit by itself or not. I think that looks pretty good. Where's that other? Yeah, looking good. They look like baby booties. Alrighty, so my hair here, see, curled. I didn't do this, like this wasn't a tight tension. So maybe they'll relax a little, but they're not really meant to be curled. So I guess we'll do body to head first. Now, as I mentioned, they don't actually mention the collar. I'm just gonna slip this on. So there's probably a little bit of a smaller opening versus a slightly bigger opening. Where you chained will probably be a little bit smaller. I'm just putting that towards the top because this gets bigger as it goes down. And I'm just going to put that down on there like that and push it down a little because it's a little stretchy past where we're going to sew. And the specific placement, you know, that's going to be kind of up to your eye. It is sometimes helpful to take a good look at your pieces first and see if you think there's something that is the face to you. Like for me, this is looking pretty facey. So I'm going to have this be toward the front. And try to make sure it's centered. I'm not great at that, but try to make sure it's centered. And then I'm just going to come under here, and all I'm going to do is just slip under something down here. That's preferably kind of right under. Like where this is lining up right now, this line back here is right under it. So I'm gonna try to slip under something there. And then through a loop on the body. And the plan is to just kind of go around, catching a loop down here. And if possible, you know, preferably you can catch the other loop on your way up, but that's not always feasible, depending on how things are shaped. Or you could go down from the top, and that might be easier to catch the top and then the bottom. But either way, this is the plan. So sometimes you have to fiddle around, and even though there's a spot that doesn't look great for where you want the stitch to go, you might have to do it there just because the way things line up. And also, you don't have to, like, I just came up from here and I can just come down through here. You're not really going to see this, especially since the collar should kind of sit up there. So whatever way you got to do to get this thing attached on here, go for it. I'll probably end up doing this like I am now, with going down to the side, kind of like right left on the bottom, and then top down on the top, because that is working and is easy. So I'm going to continue what I'm doing all the way around, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I am back around to the beginning, and I'm just going to tie off and disappear this end into the body and or head and trim it. So I tied it there, and now I'm gonna just slip through here, come out another side. I'm gonna pull this tight so that when I cut it, it snaps back inside. Alrighty, so there we go. Now, arms and legs. It's probably my least favorite part. What do they want? It doesn't really matter, but legs. Okay. Leggy, leggy, leggies. So, let's see. We're facing out of center. So it looks like we're gonna want about here, I think, and here. So what, that's about, I got about 4 to 5 stitches in between these guys. right now. And they do look like they're about kind of 4 rows down from the collar where they like start attaching, 4 to 5. So I think we're going to go with that concept. This will be much the same as the head. And let me make sure I got what I want to be the face facing forward. And also it does look a little kicked out rather than straight up and down. Yeah, kicked out. So we're going to try to sew this one here. Now I could get a pin and put it through here and try to have the pin hold it in place. I've done it before and sometimes it helps a little. Mostly it kind of doesn't really help that much because I move stuff around so much that doesn't help. But let me get this first spot in and then we'll see how things line up. So we're going to try for a kicked out. I want to try to get the angle established for this first one. And golly, this looks funky all on its own. This doesn't even look like an actual thing of any variety. Okay, you know what? We're just going to keep going. So similarly to what we just did with the head, I'm going to trying to keep these like where I insert basically underneath the edge of where we're going rather than just outside it. I'm going to go around picking up a stitch and then coming out from the loop in there. Now with these it's going to be fiddly and I'm going to have, since I want it a little sideways, I'm going to have to keep straightening it to make it look how I want. And what I basically do is just like roll it away a little bit to find the spot where I want to go through the body next, pull that through, and then up through the next stitch in the foot, and then, at least for the beginning here, reposition and repeat. So like I already think that I want this to be a little more this way, but either way, then repeat. So roll, find where you want your next one to go in, and then out through a stitch in the body. So I'm going to keep doing that all the way around. Okay, so here's first foot one. I did find it helpful to put 2 pins in through this way, just straight in really, to help keep it left and right as I went along. And I haven't tied that end off and moving it in yet because sometimes I end up moving things to get them to like line up the way that I want. So now I'm going to try and position this Why don't you look the same? That's the real question. Let's take out a tiny bit of stuffing. This seems puffier. Okay. So, right? Like, does that seem reasonable? I really can't tell. So, I'm just going to sew this on the same way, hopefully. This looks puffy. I think this still has too much. That might be too much to take out, but how does that look? Yeah, sure, why not? That totally seems reasonable. And normal and everything. Okay, so this one, same way. I'll be back. Okay, so for right now, I think that looks totally acceptable. I'm not gonna tie off the ends and weave them in yet because I need to add the arms first. So it says arms to the body between second and fourth row around 30-degree angle. So it looks like they attach them on the back kind of side and angle them forward and down like this. That's what it looks like to me. So let's see. Now our collar is on, but let's see. This is probably row 1 or 2 here. So either way, 2, 3, around this area maybe. Now I think we are supposed to sew these shut, arms, sew the opening, yeah. So just going to, I'll do these to both of them even if I don't show it. Just go through underneath the loops of both sides to sew this shut. And then, let's see. That looks reasonable. So we're back here. And this is basically coming forward and touching the foot. I think a little higher. I think that's, so this is basically, this corner is going to be touching this collar. And it looks like we're taking up about a total of 3 rows angled. So I'm going to give this a go. Pull that in. And I'm gonna go over and in like this and move about a little step down. Okay, and then again over in, moving a step down, still working diagonally, and see what that gets us. That seems okay. For right now, I'm gonna leave that. I'll probably put a few more stitches in to secure it, but I want to try to see if I can match this first, because that is the hard part. Okay. Now it seems a little far back, maybe. No, okay, I think that's okay. We'll try this. I suppose I'd rather be going down from the top again, so I'll flip this over. And then try to get right under here. Okay, so up and through the top, stop sliding. Through the top, and then I think we're going to try this little step down right here. Okay. Through the top. Am I doing this at the wrong angle? No, I think we're okay. All right, and then a step down. This one looks like it might take a couple more steps for some reason. How are we doing? No. I think okay. And last one. We wanted to make sure that we're facing kind of down, so we're gonna we'll do this. That'll pull that shoulder back a little. Okay, how goes it? That seems reasonable to me. Am I totally off? That seems pretty okay, although I don't know. Okay, it's sitting. Can you see that although it seems a little weighted to that. It doesn't really matter, but stay. All right, well, in true Scrump fashion, I think, I see I got that shoulder down. Maybe I'll put one more. I am gonna put one more. Then there'll be, yeah, one more. Let's see, we want this to be pulled back a little, so we'll go right there. Okay. I think we're okay. So I'm going to commit to these. I'm going to tie these all off. We've put them through the body or wherever, just like I did with the other one, and then I'll be back. Okay. Bow time. So, looks just pretty centered, maybe a tiny bit forward versus like center, but honestly not really sure, not sure that it matters. So I suppose whatever you think looks good. This is center. That's not bad actually, and this is a little forward. I think I prefer a little forward. That seems right to me. I'm just in front of center. So let's see. I'm basically second and third row. Just these stitches right here. And I think I'm just gonna go basically 2 rows up under the loop there. Like that. And then just in and across the back of this attachy loop thing. Like that. And just do that a few times in this area. Okay, so one in over here to kind of stabilize this side, and then we'll see if that seems like enough. That seems pretty good. I think I'll still wait to tie this in until I do the hair. Now the hair goes behind there, the head. Let me tie this off. I didn't do that before. This looks like a starfish. And this I'll just probably run into the body and disappear there. And this I think we are just going to do right over the center area. So let's see. Right here, I think, through the beginning of this leg. And then I'm just gonna go around a couple spots here like this on the outside of the center. I'm gonna be careful not to like catch any of these ends and tie them down as I go, and then just come up basically through the next leg. Length of hair, whatever you want to call it. One of my own hair is trying to live on Scrump's head. Up through here. Okay. And actually, I'm going to slip under here. Then I'm going to tie these two tails together and weave them in. Through the head to get rid of those. So that seems fine to me. Bow seems like it's standing up fine. I would like the hair to be a little straighter, but if I keep tugging on it. Okay, I'm gonna weave these ends in and I'll be back. Alrighty, so here we are on the mouth. It says around the 18th and the 19th row. So we need to do this curved line and then we'll do the red over top. So in here under this is row 1. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and this is 19. So along these two rows here. So it spreads pretty far across the whole thing. So I'm gonna go in over here and then come out about where I want to start. Pull up a length. And then I think what we're gonna do is to get the curve, we could just kind of float this across and then use the red more to do the curve, but I think that especially since we're gonna have red as well, I'm gonna come down a little and then let's see, yeah, I think right here I'm gonna pop in and pop out. Okay, and then we're gonna go up a little to about, we want to stop. I'm going to go under a stitch right here to hold this in place. And then these spots where we go under, I plan to just purposefully place a red stitch there. So now let's see, back down a little. I might at the end take this out and do that under. I think I'm going to. Okay, back down a little. So I think, yeah, maybe through here. Just a front loop, not going all the way through. And then back up a little. Yeah, maybe we will. Okay, stop it. Kind of right, partway up right here to help with the curvature. Can I get right under? No, I want to go right now. In right there. May I? Please? No? Okay. All right, fine. Right here will do. And then up a little bit more. So we're gonna end this side right here. Looks like a mustache. Does that seem about right? Yeah, this needs to go lower. And since we don't need all this extra, I'm gonna do that. And I think we'll be fine. I'm going to cut this side and then take this last bit out and take this through. I think right here would be good. And then it's looking kind of like a cat smile. Maybe I've made it a little too, but it's pretty curvy in the. All right, so I think right about here. Yeah, okay. Now, the red. So it says about 2 stitch gap between the red lines. So I'm gonna start it in a similar way where around where I want to start, I'm gonna go in. This is where I'll tie it off later. And then, yeah, the edges have it. I'm gonna come out right at the edge here. And then I'm gonna pull up what I think will be the length that I will need. Which, don't really know how to guesstimate that, but this seems like enough. And then I'm gonna come up about probably 2 rows and go in. And then I'm going to move over and I'm gonna follow the angle of this rather than staying in this line up here. So I'm gonna move over 2 about and come out where I want the next one to start. And then again, about 2.5 rows down, and then over and come out where I want the next one to start. In this case, we are wanting to cover up this blue. So straight up, then we'll go, let's see, back in, I think right here, and over. Now this time I'm going to go up a little to try to keep that sort of even distance from, even-ish from the black line, from the smile line. And down, in, and over, right to where this blue part is. Up. And I am basically just going to continue this across. So I will finish this out and be back. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. And I am happy. And if you're wondering, did I pull the red up loose the same way I did the black to make it, you know, this end be short? The answer is yes, I did that instead of cutting it, because that just makes sense to me. So now what I'm gonna do is I am going to get both ends out of the same stitch opening. So here, at the end of the smile here, I'm going to go in and come out in this same opening as this red one. Like that. And then I'm going to tie these two together. Like so. Okay. And use the bigger end of this to push that knot in there. Once the knot's in there, I'll insert this into the hole and thread both threads through. I could either cut these or shove them in here. Currently choosing shove them in here, except for those, if you can even see them. Okay, now I'll pick this back up a little bit, relax it a little from getting pulled. Okay, and do the same thing on this side, and I'll be back. Okay, so technically the last stitch is to just stick these on pretty much like that. I don't know if I'm going to do that because I might make some, but I will now for the purposes of, it's not like I'm going to use these stickers for anything else, to be honest. Let's see. So we got one eye here. One here. And the little belly button. Now I think they look pretty cute, but I don't know that they would stay on very well. I could glue them down, or I could make some. I don't love this, and I might trim that it has the white punch through, but for our purposes, here we are. She's all done, and I think pretty cute, actually. I'm pretty happy overall. So for now, I will just leave as is. If anyone particularly wants to make these items, let me know. And I might glue these down. I might make them. I don't know. I have sewed before, but the felt patches with sewing, like with a regular size needle and thread, it just seems like you're asking for them to tear apart into pieces. So I guess for now, this is all done. This kit's done. And I hope you like how yours turned out. I know this one took me a long time to get to, but it's pretty cute, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, until next time.